If you had to describe this like kind of one lens or like in one sentence, maybe, what makes community stick? Because I think it's a very essential part of what you do. And also in the nowadays environment, like we speak a lot, community, community, but what makes it stick? Why does it exist?
Hmm. Um, you know, if you take it from a um, almost a transactional perspective, I mean, very obviously, I would say alignment of interests. So people who have a common goal, shared interest, and and um, and can be with each other in order to achieve that. I think community goes well beyond that. I would say support is a big word for me. Being, someone has your back and supports you in whatever endeavor you're building now. Um, but I think community has become a very important thing since the world has been so fragmented and there's so many challenges personally, professionally that you end up sort of steering yourself into these pockets, so it can be a community that keeps you healthy or physically fit and that, supports each other on a very basic level, just making you accountable for whatever you're doing every week. So that's one. Um, it can be the founders community when you're building something new, someone who has gone through those growth pains and actually, you know, pave the road ahead. So that level of mentoring, support, feedback is very important amongst founders. That's one of the reasons why we're now hosting monthly breakfasts. Makes it a very short format, very intense for founders only, typically with a guest founder that has been through a lot and shares openly their stories. So I think community is fundamental, and even family is a community, right? Either the biological one or the one we build and choose. But I think those support structure as we move through life are more and more relevant. Yeah.
The fast-paced US startup scene, it's completely different ball game than in Europe. Now you find yourself back to Portugal and making it as a hotspot. What are you seeing? What we are maybe not everyone seeing at the moment.
Yeah. Um, Look, I look at I'm Portuguese, born and raised. I love my country, and the fact that I was able to have the opportunity to be elsewhere in the world and the Americas, both north and south, in Asia and in Europe, um, has given me the opportunity also to see other realities and build outside my own country. And I think that now that I'm back and calling Portugal home, it's extraordinary to see how many people have made the same choice and now becoming sort of new Portuguese, right? So you're having like this, um, again, the word community comes to mind. There's like this huge number of people coming in, and just either because they enjoy the lifestyle or because they have a direct interest here, either they're building in Portugal something new. Either they're exited founders and decided that this is a great place to raise their kids and be with their family. There's something going on because there's other, arguably there's other countries in Southern Europe that could have the same sort of, lifestyle or weather, whatever, uh, whatever drives that choice on the more on the common ground. But I think it's interesting. I think Portuguese are very open. They, obviously English is widely spoken. I think that it's fairly easy to sort of to come in and call Portugal home, specifically if if you get a chance to also keep the back and forth kind of happening. You're not just looking inwards, but outwards from this part of the world, which is something that I still do and I really appreciate. So like a bridge builder to other realities.